everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus, coming at you with another live stream with Incinerator Burn. As a friendly reminder, if you like red-based content, please consider giving us a follow here on Twitch, giving us a subscribe over on YouTube, and let's get into the deck, as I don't think I'm going to get quite through the entire league tonight, as I am a bit on the tired side after work, but I did say I was going to stream tonight, so here we are. So, this is very similar to the list we played about 3 nights ago before we tried the weird list with the Wayward God Beasts and the Mono Red variant. This is kind of based on some work I did when Incinerator was first kind of a thing. Was playing at Tarka's command because we were playing a green splash for Klothys. Klothys just doesn't seem to be all that effective in the current modern format. So we're still sticking with a little bit of the green splash for D-Rev and a Tarka's command. I think those are worth it. Beyond that, we'll get into the details, but basically when you're playing Chandra's Incinerator, you need some type of enablers on turn 1, with Seal of Fire and Riftbolt being the best to enable a turn 2 Chandra's Incinerator. Beyond that, you need to be playing as many 1-drop spells or pseudo 1-drop spells as possible. Lightning Bolt, Lava Spike, and Skewer the Critics kind of round out that set of things. Beyond that, you have the usual triumvirate of Monastery, Swiftspear, Goblin Guide, and Island of the Great Revel, and then 4 copies of Tarka's Command as our pseudo fill-in Boros Charm. Obviously, Boros Charm has its pluses over Tarka's Command and vice versa, but when we're a base green-red deck, and then splashing white for Path to Exile, I think a Tarka's Command is a little bit better, makes the mana a little bit more stable. One thing we are missing in this particular setup is any type of anti-mirror tech, in terms of we have no core Firewalkers, no Klothys to gain us life, so we are a little bit cold to mirror matches in terms of we don't really have any life gain or anything. But Roiling Vortex is a very nice card for Uro decks and such. While it's not quite Klothys, it does come down a turn sooner, and a little less mana intensive overall. Does things a little bit differently than what Klothys does, but still makes things a little bit more manageable. 4 copies of D-Rev, obviously. Main thing you're targeting this with is Chalice of the Void, but you also have any number of other things, including Leyline of Sanctities, which seem to be on the rise a little bit of late. 4 copies of Relic of Progenitus. While this is kind of an anti-graveyard hate thing, it's more of an anti-mid-range thing anymore, with decks like Jund, Luris, Jund, red-black mid-range, some of the Death Shadow variants like Grixis, and then Uro piles all having some type of graveyard-based value engine, whether it be Mystic Sanctuary, Uro, Luris, Tarmogoyfs, Skirmag Anglers. It's nice to have this value-based graveyard hate piece rather than, necessarily a hard graveyard hate piece with something like Rest in Peace. 4 copies of Path to Exile. Once again, need ways to get rid of the big boys. Tarmogoyfs, Death Shadows, Scourge of the what is the name of the new one? Scourge of whatever. The 2-drop, which is basically a Death Shadow itself. And then beyond that, just playing a couple of matches tonight, see how far we get before I'm kind of too exhausted to be functional here. But the first league that we did with this will be up on YouTube tomorrow morning, I do believe, from a couple days ago's stream. So one thing with the streams I'm noticing is a lot of you are viewing it on the VODs, which is great. But I do notice a dip in the YouTube viewership as a result, so at least people are watching the VODs the next morning, so at least people are still watching the content. So that's a positive. And another thing that will be coming up is here in the next week or two, I'll be starting a little bit of World of Warcraft back up. It'll be after the Magic content most nights, when I'm streaming a little bit longer. I would do like a league or so of Magic, and then do a hour or so WoW maybe. Obviously a no-lander, can't keep this hand. This hand looks really mediocre after that opener, but I do think we have to keep. No. guess I put back the mountain here. Are giving our opponent the information that we're not on an arrow pile, but, you know, not really a particularly big deal. Overall, they're going to get a pretty good clue what we're up to. Play a Seal of Fire first. Could play Rift Bolt, but Rift Bolt's much better effective once we find an Incinerator or something. Looks like we're on Prowess. No, it looks like our opponent's actually on Storm, which could be a little bit rough. Unless we find a... Eidolon here pretty quickly. Eidolon would be pretty good. Goblin Guide is not terrible, I suppose, but it's 2 cards on top of their library, so we'll get a pretty good idea of what they're up to now. As Foretold. So it looks like we're up against As Foretold Living End. Well, if that's the case, I think we have to go pedal to the metal here. Fortunately, we're a little bit on a slow draw for that kind of nonsense. At least if they cast a Restore Balance, they'll really handicap their own hand. So, positive, I suppose. Do I even want to play this land out right now? Maybe? I don't know. The problem with the, like, if they have not suspended a... Why would you not wait for me to attack? Okay. Not too much I can do, I mean... What do we have for this matchup? We have some D-Revs potentially. Potentially some relics. It's got some rhinos, so we're on a 2-turn clock. Don't know there's really anything we can do here. Our opponent to 9. They're at a virtual 5. So we need to draw 2 1-drop spells and them not to have counter magic. Don't think that really changes things, but I think we're dead either way. I suppose we could potentially have used the 2 Seal of Fires to stay alive for a turn. Yeah, sure. I'm doing okay, War Dog. It's been... kind of wish they hadn't hit that 4th land there. Means they could have Remand or some other type of interaction here. Okay, there's Bolt. So he bricked anyway, so... Alright. I'm doing okay, War Dog. It's been a rough couple of days with work and some other things, but... So... Do we assume they're on Living End as well? It's been a minute since I've seen an As Foretold deck. Not too terribly long since we've seen one, but as foretold. They're on Restore Balance and Crashing Footfalls anymore. They're not even running the whatchamacallit package. Ley lines. Yeah, I'm seeing either ley lines or madcaps, so I definitely want to bring in the D-Revs. They could potentially be dead in some spots, but bring those in, bring the vortexes in, board out some number of Sealifiers, I guess. Go toward the more traditional burn curve. This hand is awkward, but I do think it's a keep. Unless you're a Neuropile, yeah, pretty much. I think this hand, while awkward, is a kind of hand we want. So I am going to keep it. Obviously, we are running the risk of flooding out very badly, as we already have one more land than we ever really want. But Swift Spear into Eidolon really puts the pressure on the opponent to have quick early interaction here, which obviously their deck kind of does. They have bolts and looks like they're mulliganing towards Leyline. Yeah, I brought in the vortexes. See, vortexes are in the deck. But yeah, that's another reason that they're nice in this style of matchup. No, I didn't talk about it because they're a card I generally bring in grindy matchups. Honestly, I think both white and green are almost irrelevant at this point. In terms of which splash you have. Because a lot of the builds have just been going to... I could be walking face first into Electro Dominance here, but I still think I'm supposed to do it. Like, we're not winning a long game anyway. Both splashes are fine. I mean, the main reason we were splashing green originally was Klothys, and Klothys just didn't feel good in the last league. Whereas this one, it's kind of like, so they're going to take 4 here. Go to 9. Because I have a feeling they're going to play As Foretold into Crashing Footfalls. Restore Balance, eh? Yeah, I still think I want to D-Rev now. This way, if they have Force of Negation, they have to take an additional 2. And we were going to have to discard a card anyway, so... the Green Splash is nice because the Tarkus Command is still a reasonable Magic card. And hello there, beautiful. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking anyway. I'm so used to... I guess I'm kind of used to playing... So either incoming Salt or my opponent is about to force a negation. I'm not really sure which. Opponent crying even though we're now going to a game 3. Yeah, as far as Force, I'm kind of, in some ways, after having played Legacy, I'm used to, like, Force of Will. So I'm thinking the Force of Negation can be cast on either turn, instead of just during my turn. Oh, I wonder if my opponent had a Force of Negation, they just didn't want to eat the 5 damage. I completely forgot about that fact. Alright, so now we're staring at one of these usual one-land problems that happen sometimes. Can't cast the Atarka's commands anyway, so I think we're just going to mulligan here. That's fine. Guess we put back the Atarka's command. Okay, sure. They keep a no-lander with a Leyline Sanctity. That'd be funny. As far as the Green Splash, there are some fringe benefits to it, and Atarka's command is certainly one of them. Because Atarka's command gets around... okay, hopefully they don't have any payoffs, but they probably do. Okay, sure, I'm cool with this particular exchange. So, Bolt and Spike, I guess. Why? It's the cards I keep, not the cards I whatever. Sure. I screwed up, but... Yeah, especially since they probably don't have any way to get it off the board. But I should have kept D-Rev and Atarka's Command, not Bolt and Spike, for some reason. Oh, I wonder if they brought in some type of way to kill it. Sure. Imagine if we had kept that D-Rev. It'd be so amazing right now. Oh boy. Their deck doesn't even play Cryptic Command. Man, that's gotta be rough. Alright, there's a Goblin God. See if they let me attack before they kill it this time. No, there's Electro Dominance. Sure. Sorry to ruin your fun, Bam, but I don't think Vortex was specifically printed to punish your particular brand of brew. Oh, they have Brazen Borrower. Cool. One of Brazen Borrower? Sure. Okay. That was a weird match. I punted really hard and we still win. Okay. Yeah, if I'd held on to that D-Rev, the game would have been over. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I'm used to clicking the cards that I keep and not the ones that I get rid of. Can you tell I'm tired? But as far as the difference in the splashes, white used to be known for its sideboard cards, like Stony Silence, Rest in Peace, all that kind of nonsense. And green was always there for like, yeah. Well, green's always been there for like historically for like Wild Nacatl and Atarka's Command. I think the big thing with green is just the fact that D-Rev does damage, and oh crap. So am I up against Eldrazi Tron? Opponent kept a 7-card hand and or 6-card hand, has no turn 1 play. I'm suspecting Eldrazi Tron, but I don't know if there's really a whole lot we can do about it this game. Our hand is what it is. Chalice on 1. Ironically, completely useless this game so far. But womp womp. I kept a 2-lander, hoping to get a little lucky. Card on top, so it's a land. Hopefully it's not third drop case. I hate Tron decks. Even with 2 scries, that is kind of bullshit. This might be wrong to get this aggressive. Especially since I'm effectively trading an Eidolon for only 3 damage. Livin' La Vida, Eldrazi Tron. You can draw like this too if you play with Eldrazi Tron. Alright, so 4 path, 4 D-Rev. Down 4 Eidolon, and what is the other cut? A Tarkus command? I know they have the stone, but Maze Mind Tome, that is, but I really want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. I know I got a little bit later start than usual, but I'm really thankful for everybody that is here tonight. Yes, this hand's potentially very, very good. Get to go 1-drop, 1-drop, 1-drop. It's been middling so far. We had a very salty round 1 opponent who was kvetching and whining that his deck was being held down by the man, and basically roiling Vortex KOs Electro Dominance. And then round 2 we promptly run smack into Eldrazi Tron, so thank you for your advertisement. Come again, or don't. Take a ban. Get the heebie-jeebies out of my jeebie, no? Am I supposed to grab Sacred Foundry here? No, it's a lot of damage, but I do think we are supposed to grab Sacred Foundry here. They keep on 7. Oh, they have Dismember. So my... They didn't keep 7. So my little old goblin guy did 6 damage. I think that is perfectly reasonable. Sure. Opponent's at 7, 5, 3. So I don't think we can quite kill them this turn. We can potentially empty our hand, though, especially if we draw like another land or something. Monastery Swizzle Spear, you say? They do with put a card on bottom. Do this, do that. Trigger me this, Batman. They're drawing a Cavern of Souls, which they've already pitched one, so. Hopefully they don't have Natty Tron here. Okay. So what's the worst they can do here? Chalice on 1? Walking Ballista, sure. Walking Ballista ain't gonna get it done here. Lava Spike, Spike, Spike. Spike, spike, lava, spike, spike. Alright, now comes the difficult game. Winning 1 on the draw against Eldrazi Tron. I don't think there's any changing of the sideboarding here. Incinerator's good when we can get it down. Interesting. Yeah, I mean to get back to that at some point and actually put a little bit of work into the deck. I honestly think it's going to take a Delver flavor with maybe Luris and Gonti's Machinations, but I've actually been trying to work on like actual burn variants of late. Dimir just can flip with people though. That almost turned 4 kill that one time. We got foiled by Veil of Summer. I'm like, oh, card I never play around with any other burn deck. Oh. Just threw up a little bit in my mouth on that one. 4-lander, double Chandra's Incinerator, Goblin Guide, and our opponent kept 7. So you're saying there's a chalice. This hand is equally terrible, and I don't think we can keep it. This hand's great, but dies to chalice. Sign me up. Yeah. Need to rip a D-Rev. Or our opponent's just going to have Natty Tron on 3. And we draw another land. I feel special. Alright, they're going to have Eldrazi Tron on, or Eldrazi Temple on 2. Nope, they're just going for turn 3 Tron. Tron doing Tron things. Derp, derp, derp. Nice! Nice. Yeah, I wish my LGS was actually doing things. Not that I can ever go anyway, but... to my knowledge, my LGS is not doing anything. Hey, look, there's a Maze Mind Tome to go with their Natural Tron. Hopefully they have Thought-Knot Seer. That'd be, like, perfect. Thought-Knot Seer and a Chalice on 1, and then we rip D-Rev. Oh, no, they just have Forsaken Monument. Sure. Isn't this card, like, kind of overkill? Oh, no! Just an effect we can't beat. Gotcha. As if the Eldrazi Tron matchup couldn't get any worse. Wow. I mean, we ripped the D-Rev, I suppose. Nothing going on here. You want to block. I mean, we're still 100% toast in this game, but... opponent obviously forgot that they could, like, shoot us for 1. Probably doesn't matter, but... well, yeah, yeah, this hand's pretty bad. This this matchup's pretty bad. Agreed. Like, it's really hard to get a gauge for the matchup when you mulligan to 5. You know, with 4 landers, it just kind of like does the thing. Like, I would play this Lava Spike before combat, but it's not going to matter because our opponent's just going to blow up Blast Zone. Keeping this Bloodstained Mire in my hand in case I rip a Path to Exile. At least maybe slow down the... Well, I'm sure our Electro-Balance opponent felt the same thing when we played Roiling Vortex on them, so... I'm just kind of stunned that this card is actually seeing as much play as it has. Like, I know a Green Tron deck grabbed it out of their sideboard with Karn, and then... Oh, there's Karn. Speak of the devil. He shall appear. Trinisphere... Nope, liquid metal coating. Yay! Walking Ballista. Yay! I mean, it still sucks to play the matchup, but you know, it's really kind of hard to get a gauge for the matchup when you mulligan to 5 in game 2. So. Or game 3 here. And it really doesn't help when your opponent goes keep 7, keep 6, keep 7. It used to be the problem with Eldrazi Tron was the fact, or the weakness of Eldrazi Tron. It's not even a connection to Lattice. It's a very powerful, annoying card because of the life gain. Hayashi's just on crack, man. Dude goes from like 1 trophy 2 days ago to like 7. Man is a madman. And by the way, I mean on crack in a good way. It's just like, dude was just like, I was watching my Twitter feed today at work, and it was just like, Hayashi, another trophy. Hayashi, another trophy. Hayashi, another trophy. Like, I'm going to let them think they have a chance. Psych! This is mulligan. We got a 4-lander again. So I think we bottom Matarka's coming in here. Because we potentially have a turn 2 Incinerator barring disruption. Okay. Well, the question becomes, what version of Tron are we up against? We still don't know. Well, let us hope that our opponent does not have an answer to this Incinerator. And doesn't have a Karn or a Wormcoil Engine. Is it bad this hand's actually probably better against Eldrazi Tron? But we don't know which variant we're up against yet. The Goblin Guides might have been better if we knew we were against Green Tron for sure. Why would you... Okay, I guess it didn't particularly matter. Just kill that, sure. Problem is, we still don't know what version of Tron we're up against. Because both versions play Ugin. Oh, we're up against Eldrazi Tron again. Yay! A deck that's on the downtick in the meta, but we run into it twice. Sweet! Opponent still has access to 6 mana or 5 mana here. Go and grab boat. Nope, they just grab an Wormcoil Engine. Chalice on 1, sure. I think we got a kill Karn here, but without, yeah, and then they're just drawing another Karn anyway. Good grief. Sure, go grab liquid metal coating. Which one of my toys do I want to go get? Yeah. It's really cute that these shouldn't be consistent Tron decks can go grab Sundering Titans out of their board. Alright, same boarding as we did last time. D-Revs and Path Exiles in. Eidolons and Atarka's Commands out. Once again, Atarka's command could be fine in the matchup, but you want your maximum ability to set up Chandra's Incinerator as much as you can, because generally against Eldrazi Tron it's much more effective than it would be against regular Tron. You know, if they don't have a turn 3 answer to it, which their deck is very limited as to how many answers it has to a turn 2 6/6. Or even turn 3 6/6 for that matter. If we'd gone the other way and gone Goblin Guide into Goblin Guide plus, say, Suspend Riftbolt to set up for a turn 3 Incinerator, would have gotten for 2, 4, 6, 9, 13. They would have made a 2/2 most likely instead of killing a Goblin Guide. Kill the guy, kill Ugin. Might have had a better chance with Goblin Guides, but I don't know for sure. Immediately. Seems tonight we either have 4 lands or no lands. Alright, this ends another turn 2 Incinerator, so I can't really complain about that. Well, that's just it, is it doesn't set up I think I'm supposed to actually cast Bolt here rather than Skewer the Critics because of Chalice. Matter Shaper. plant, sure. Don't want that to get hit by a TKS. So you have access to 5 mana potentially. Yeah, okay, that's a chump blocker. So I get to draw a card here. Sweet. Put you to 1, draw a card. You can't dismember, so... Oh, that's kind of awkward. Still think I play it out here. Well, Atarka's Command is more of a filler for something where Boros Charm would be. And Boros Charm is also a card that I would board out in this matchup anyway. So even looking at what it is a placeholder for, this is also a matchup where I'd board out Boros Charms. And even, like, the life gain out of their deck is not irrelevant, I should say. Yeah. This is a hand. So, is there any realm of possibility that I keep this hand? Opponent kept 7, so that means they're probably going to have a good hand. If I draw a second land, what does this hand do? This hand has Goblin Guide into Bolt Lava Spike, has access potentially to Path, has D-Rev. So if we don't draw a land, can the hand win a game? Or at least apply enough pressure that we're still in the mid game, given a good Eldrazi Tron hand? Barring Chalice, I think the answer is yes. So I think for that reason I'm going to keep. But we're going to have to be careful with what we fetch. I think we're going to fetch Sacred Foundry, honestly. Because most of the cards in our deck are... Looks like we're up against turn 3 Tron hand. How many cards are white sources in our deck versus how many are... So we have 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 6 non-green sources in our deck if we fetch Sacred Foundry, versus if we fetch Stomping Ground. What are the odds that we find things for a Path to Exile? I think it's all semantics. I think we're going to lose this game, but it is an interesting thing. Is Stomping Ground the correct call, or is Sacred Foundry? I'm going to fetch Stomping Ground. Well, the thing is, our opponent can easily go Chalice on 1 into TKS, so... And I'm going to have to deploy my spells because of Chalice. So... Path is valuable, don't get me wrong, but I don't know the whole just sitting up, holding up Path, especially because of this particular, yeah. So we're basically dead. Alright. All this dust gives them an answer to Incinerator, should we ever get it down. Now we're going to get Thought Knot Seared. Guess we should be thankful that we have 2 copies of D-Rev. Hopefully they don't have 2 Thought Knot Seers. And for those of you that think I might have been being negative or whatever, if a reasonable Eldrazi Tron player keeps a 7-card hand on the play, they're likely beating even a very good burn hand on the draw. Especially when they know the matchup, they know we're on a burn variant, and Chalice on 1 into what the heck did they take? They took Lightning Bolt? Okay. Of all the cards in my hand, you took Lightning Bolt. Der Fürgen? So do I derev the map, or do I just derev and hope? Well, even if you feel pity here, you still make the right play. Bolt is not the right play. Like, I guess they're worried about us blowing up the Chalice of the Void and, like, bolting their Thought-Knots here in addition to Goblin Guide? I guess? So, if I gamble and blow up their map here, if they have a second TKS or land Chalice on 2, we get punished super hard. Alternatively, if I take the more conservative play and just hold up derev and then blow up Chalice in response to a Chalice on 2 or whatever, then they get to crack map and get closer to Tron for all his dust. And we don't know what their land situation is in hand, because the two cards that we revealed off of Goblin Guide was All Is Dust. I can't Tavern. They have a Chalice on 1 in play. That's not a valid line right now. Literally my only plays right now are derev. Never listen to me. Yeah, my only choices are literally with a derevs right now. If I gamble and blow up the map and hope they don't have a 4th land, then we open ourselves up to a lot of plays being good against us. So the high percentage play is just pass, blow up Chalice in response to whatever they do. The higher variance play, but might be the play to win line, is derev the... Actually, I don't even know if derev the Expedition map really gets us that far, because we need to draw a 3rd land to utilize spells next turn. So I think it still might be blow up map. It's a gamble, but I think we're far enough behind that I'm willing to gamble. I'm not worried about their turn. I'm worried about their mana development, because if they develop their mana, we're dead anyway. There's nothing we do at this point. We're as crimped on mana as they are, so they're just gonna have a Chalice on 2. Nope, they just have a Reality Smasher. Oakley dokley. So we chump block this turn. Hope we rip a white source. So I'm taking 9, going to if I had Chaliced here, or blown up Chalice last turn, we could have Swift Spear plus Seal of Fire to chump. And then next turn I could set up Incinerator, but then I'm still dead to... So I'd take 5, get a 7... And then Incinerator might be able to get us out of it. Or they could just blow up Blast Zone and do whatever they were going to do anyway. So I guess in the end it really didn't matter what line we took. We were just pretty much dead. So the only land I could draw next turn to keep us in the game is exactly one of our 3 Sunbaked Canyons, because we can't... Or... I guess we could draw exactly Sacred Foundry, so we have 4 outs to be able to cast this path next turn. And even then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're up to 6 mana to cast All is Dust, so even Incinerator is not going to stabilize here. Yeah, I can't crack for I can't crack for Sacred Foundry here. I could get a basic Mountain, play this, play that, play Incinerator. Even if they don't have All is Dust mana, that we're still still just dead on board. So GG's. Well Eldrazi Tron. It's just a rough matchup. Don't know there's much you can do about that as a burn player. It's just a rough matchup. But yeah, the map play was by far the bigger gamble tavern, but it opens up a lot. Their deck is very mana hungry. They don't have a ton of plays for less than 4 mana, so if they didn't have another mana source, then it might inhibit their more powerful plays, which keep us in the game a little bit longer. But just them keeping a 7-card hand on the play is pretty much a death sentence for burn, especially game 3. And I think each one of these situations we've lost game 1, won game 2 on the play, lost game 3. I honestly think the matchup is unfavorable. Like, I mean, that's kind of obvious at this point, especially as they've gotten more tools. But I think it is very play draw dependent. I think good burn draws on the play can beat them quite easily, actually. Save your Ingot Chewer. It's not even a matter of like having artifact destruction. Like, they legit can beat you without Chalice. So Lurrus of the Dream Den. And we have a 5-land hand. This hand is better, I suppose. And we're probably up against Black-Red Lurrus or Black-Red Death Shadow. Yeah, we're up against the looks like we're up against the 3-color Death Shadow variant. Dimir Lurrus Burn. Definitely not Dimir Lurrus Burn. It's Death Shadow. It's the Prowess Death Shadow deck. I have no idea how this matchup goes. Ironically, these were the original variants of Death Shadow. Well, can we cast that next turn? 3 damage. Yeah, we can actually cast that next turn. Alright, I'm in. I think we can cast that. 3 reduces it to 2 in the red. I don't think anyone's gotten a hold of your Spectacular Carrion yet. Maybe you should join the myriad of burn streamers and content producers that are now currently available on a YouTube near you. There is, of course, us, which is MTG Nexus. There is GG for Goblin Guide. There is M. Hayashi, also known as Magic Matt. You have... who else do we have? We have... Day 2 Dryden, if he ever comes back to creating content. And then a Partridge and a Pear Tree. On the second day of burn content, I almost won a game. Do I actually put my opponent to 6 here? I think they would have played a Death Shadow last turn if they had it. Sure, let's... They have a Team of Battle Rage, sure. We have no white spells, so we're just... Oh, they might have Scourge. And Scourge would only be a 1/1. Yeah, so they might be on a Scourge hand. And Scourge is only a 1/1 because of how we've gotten our lands this game. That's funny. That's the downside of Scourge, is if you don't deal any damage, it's completely useless. Alright, so... lists are packing. So, Croxos, Kolaghan's commands. There's definitely some different variants on these lists. Okay, that's the black-red variant, I think. Nice. Definitely want the paths. Do we want Relic in this matchup? I don't think so. Okay, so what are we boarding out? We're boarding out Atarka's commands, I guess. Is there anything else we really want to board out in this matchup? I think it's just that for that. Like, Relic is relevant, but I don't know what to board out. Well, this is a burn hand if I've ever seen one. It's a one-lander, but it's got 3 Goblin Guides. I can't turn down 3 Goblin Guides, can I? They don't play Goyf. That's just it, is these variants don't play Goyf anymore. They play Scourge of the Skyclaves now. Which I wouldn't be surprised if that was the card stuck in our creature stuck in our opponent's hand. Croxa? Not anymore. They play Scourge. Scourge has replaced Tarmogoyf. Yeah. They block here. I know they might have a... Problem is we have to fetch a basic mountain here to kill this Scourge. Still think it's a trade we make. Like, I really want access to white, but... We have another Scourge. Collective Brutality? Brutality would be annoying here. Not great, but it's annoying. Check out Yama's list. Was he playing? Definitely feels like a Collective Brutality. Yep. Think we get the Sacred Founder here, though I am obviously not a huge fan of shocking when our opponent plays Scourges. Oh, come on! Oh, come on. That's not even fair. And they fetch it away? Unless they already have one in their hand, why would they fetch it away? Yeah, they already have one in their hand. Okay. No reason to give our opponent extra looks at a land there. Especially since I don't think they can continue to progress their game plan while holding up that much mana. It's possible we're supposed to play our Wooded Foothills here, but it does give our opponent a little bit of pause about what to do. Especially if they have like a Thoughtseize here. Not sure what this could be. Oh, y'all come up with some crazy variants of burn. They playing a Gurmag Angler? Oh, Clean Dust. Gain some life, sure. This does make our job a little bit harder. Bzz. Hey, War Dog, do you go into other like YouTube like comment sections and stuff out of curiosity? Okay. Why wouldn't they attack there? Seems odd. I guess they're so far ahead that it really doesn't matter at this point. Like, the Engineered Explosives is just one of our best weapons against them. I've just been, like, I've been going through comment sections and, like, looking at some stuff. I didn't realize how much Space Marine is everywhere. Like, I knew he was in, a lot of different places, but my lord, dude is everywhere. Like, he's in Grimm's, he's in Avaros's, I think he's in Squatch Chiefs. I've seen him in some of Nikachu's stuff. I'm just like... Yeah. Incinerator feels pretty yucky here. So I guess next turn they play EE for 2 and crack it, go to 6, crack us for 3, go to 9. Alternatively, they can play Scourge. And it is a potentially... don't really know. Oh, they just have a bolt. Okay. So what you're saying is we're dead. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Hard time beating that hand. Do they attack with their Luris here? Alright, alright. Do I want to bring in relics against this deck? And the question is if I do bring in relics, what do I cut? This is one of the weird matchups where it's like, normally when you're cutting Incinerator, you're bringing in the relics, like against Uropiles and so many Uropiles and other stuff going on here that it's like, okay. I think I just accidentally opened up a scab, which is dumb. Right back in 1 second. Well, like I could see that Lucarian, but the problem is then we're weakening our Incinerator plan. Sounds fine. Well, thanks, War Dog. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm still not sure what to do with Patreon at this point. Like, I've thought about bringing it back, but at the same time, I really want to drop the idol on this turn, but at the same time, I don't really want to be taking damage from this Swizzle Spear here. Another 1-drop would be great. Does that change how I want to play this? Still think I go with Eidolon here rather than the inefficiency of Skewer and Skewer. Sounds like a law firm. Law firm of Skewer and Skewer. We only do toast cases. Collective Brutality would obviously be pretty bad here again, but once again, we really don't play enough. I'm not blocking, so go ahead and attack. Getting a basic mountain here, kind of trying to skewer this. They have 2 spells, they have 2 spells, it's kind of whatever. Yeah, that's fine. You can kill Eidolon. That's fine by me. Cling to Death is just such a beating in these style of matchups. Really don't like using Path on a monster. Swift Spear here. Goes up to 13. We're going down to 9, so their Scourge will be a very large creature. And we're very low on resources. Like a Scourge or Double Death Shadow. Brutality would be really freaking bad, and this is really smelling like a Brutality. Scourge of the Skyclaves. I don't know that I really like leaving in Temur Battle Rage against Burn when you're bringing in things like Collective Brutality and Cling to Dust. So what did they take out? Maybe Thoughtseizes? We haven't seen that since Game 1, I don't think. Okay. I was going to say, this better not be another friggin'... Alright, this isn't a terrible sequencing. See if they have another basic. Bolt. Alright. So if they play Lurrus and we rip a kill spell, we could win. Probably. Still a very powerful card even without the kicker ability. What is their hand, though? Like, it feels like their hand's a bunch of junk. Like, it's Lurrus and Bolt and 3 unknowns. Feels like those 3 unknowns are pretty bad. Like, they didn't kill... I don't know. I guess Scourge might have been more mana efficient than a lot of their plays. Like, if they have Cling plus Bolt here, it could be pretty bad. It's kind of dumb when your burn leagues are stretching on 2 hours now. Remember the good old days when you could do a burn league in like an hour. When even your burn leagues take 2 hours, you might have them. Yeah, I really wouldn't think they'd leave in Become Immense against us, but I suppose it's a possibility. Alright, this play has the most upside, but it's the play that could get them killed. Back in my boomer days. Okay, so they know if they're dead or not. Are you dead? Survey says. Well, it's a redraw. Really, deck? Really? This is how you do me. Really? Death Shadow plus Bolt. Game over. me take 12 minutes to... Oh, they're Monster Swift Spearing. Okay. Why wouldn't you just cast Lightning Bolt there? I guess they don't know what the other card in my hand is. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance? You're saying there's a Luxac chance? When your deck has to go runner, and it's like, I'm gonna make you think you don't win by giving you 2 lands, and then decide to give you runner the next turn. Oh, you know, who needs gambling when you can just play a burn deck and, like, is it a burn spell? We're up against Wombo Combo. Is this hand a keep? Is a question mark. So better to be lucky than good. And which YouTuber would that be? There's several that I can think of that do that. I think we keep this hand. It's close enough, but I do think we keep it. I know Hoagland says it, but I don't know, does anybody else actually say it? Oh. Whip against Uropile. Feels like an Uropile. Oh no, we're up against Amulet. Alright. Amulite. I'm gonna say, I know I've seen Wombo Combo somewhere, but I don't know where. Yeah, I've been having to scale back the amount of content I've been taking in, unfortunately. Can they play anything else this turn? They can Titan us next turn, huh? Yeah, I've had to scale back on the amount of content I've been viewing because getting ready for the WoW stuff, I've been having to watch Noble. Okay, so this turn we can hit for 8, 9, 10? Is that correct? 4, 4... 9, 11, put them to 3. And then they can play one Primeval Titan spell. Can they Titan us with Azusa here? Oh, no, they can just Titan us with this bullshit. Gotcha. Gotcha. So if they're an older Titan list, they can haste here, hit us for 8, put us to 6. We can cast 2 spells ourselves. They can then grab life gain land plus arbitrary other land. They also have to pay for their Summoner's Pack next turn, so they have to be mindful of that. Okay, they concede. I was going to say, I didn't think there was any particular permutations. Wait, what? Defugan? No, I'm just curious why our opponent just scooped to us. I'll say they have some number of finishes. I guess, but that's supposed to be a good matchup for Amulet. Like, I understand we had an amazing draw that game, but that's definitely a good matchup for Amulet, generally. As long as they're not too skewed for the meta, they generally have enough reasonable tools to pull through. There's any number of things that could have happened. I'm just, like, generally, they're pretty good against burn. Or at least historically, Amulet's been pretty good against burn. Oh well, another 3-2. Can't complain. Deck's great. Can beat everything. Loses to Eldrazi Tron. No, but in all seriousness, it does feel like I'm going to have to go back to the Roiling Vortex. This version? No, not that version. I'm going to have to go back to this version to have some idea of what's going on in the format. Because this version is currently 13-2. Granted, that is some running hot. And Gruul Incinerator has had 2 3-2s. The nice part is it appears that Incinerator is at least playable again. Like, there was a stretch there where Incinerator just felt god-awful between Paths and Aether Gusts. And it feels like those might have died down a little bit. E-Tron's just a terrible matchup for burn. You can win, but you're definitely a dog. I'm kind of liking this setup. Like, even if I wasn't playing Incinerator, I'm kind of liking this setup of the deck. Like, you know, I could easily see playing this build with, like, Bone Crusher Giants instead of Incinerators. Like, I know that's been like my new infatuation card, but, you know, even without incinerators, I could see this build being a reasonable path to take with burn. I know Poseidon's been working with some Naya. I wonder... I'm curious, is he working with... no, I did not mean to click on my own thing. Click off here before we start getting an echo. Yes, Hayashi. Back-to-back trophies. Same list an hour and a half ago. Now I'm the trophy leader again. Wow. Alright. I said Hayashi going crazy. Poseidon. Poseidon has been working with this list. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, Poseidon's been working with this list, which is ironically not that far off from what I've been doing, except he loves him some surgical extraction against Uro. Beyond that, he's actually running the full 3 colors with a Tarkus command, and these ones in the main deck. Running the 61 card special that he's been liking of late. D-Rev, is the main reason he went to green, I think. Tarkus command's just effectively a fine skull crack. His sideboard isn't that different from the one we're playing. Obviously surgical, different card than Relic, but effectively targeting the same thing for the most part. It's just he's running green and white in the main deck. Don't really think that's necessary, but you know. Overall, I think Incinerator feels fine right now. We've played it 3 different leagues. It's been fine in all 3 leagues. Obviously, you have some awkwardness that just comes with playing Incinerator, much like the Izzet Prowess decks do when they're playing, whatchamacallit, Sky, whatever, Mobobber. The 3/3 Prowess Flyer, I'm drawing a blank on right now. You think playing the deck enough that I would know the cards, but anywho, this build feels fine. I could easily see running the White Splash and Boros in this slot, going back to like a split on Smash and Wear Tear. You know, if you don't have like the Copperline Gorges and stuff in real life or whatever, and you want to run this deck, you can easily go with Boros Charm and just run like a Boros version with like Smashes and Wear Tears in the sideboard in the place of these D-Revs, and it's just effectively fine. A Tarkus Command's just, it's a good fill-in for Boros Charm for wanting to run the Green Splash. Once again, the Green Splash was originally running Klothys. I don't think Klothys is particularly good in burn right now. The 1 mana between it and Roiling Vortex is huge. Comes down a lot slower against like the Uro piles and stuff. I don't know. Klothys could have been fine in some matchups, especially against the Luris deck that we beat barely. What was the first match that we played? The first match was... Drawing a blank on what the first match was. Against Blue-Red Restore Balance, it might have been okay. I think the Roiling Vortexes actually were better in that spot because of the free spells. So, ironic that this kind of helped win us match number 1. So, anywho, pretty decent league. I'm rambling because I'm tired. I'm going to get off here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. It's kind of an awesome stream. Is there anybody even to raid tonight? Nope, nobody to raid tonight. Nobody that I normally raid anyway. So, hope everybody has a wonderful evening. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. A lot higher view count than we've been getting lately, but I'm not complaining about having 9, 10, 11 viewers on average. So, I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow night. I'll probably be streaming on Tuesday, Wednesday, because I'm off those nights. So, I will be posting that on the YouTube channel and on Twitter, obviously. So the next stream is probably going to be Tuesday night. Might be a little bit earlier than midnight. So probably Tuesday night around 10:30, 11. Hopefully all goes well. Might have a little bit longer stream on my nights off. Like I said, I'm trying to get back into streaming at least 4 nights a week. Definitely streaming Tuesday and Wednesday, and then probably like either Friday or Saturday. It just depends on how I'm feeling. So thank you everybody for hanging out. War Dog, Lucarian, two that's been pretty much talking the last hour or so. I know that other people have been hanging out. But thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. If you're new to the channel, please consider giving us a follow. If you really like what you're seeing on the channel and you have a Prime subscription and want to send it our way, that'd be great. And if you like burn content, please check out our YouTube channel. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Everybody have a great night.